Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thanks for looking at attic to basement estate cleanouts. I'm trying to work on the camera angle here, so I hope this is better. Let's dive right into a house in Silver Spring, Maryland. A realtor whom I had met through work years earlier recommended me to a family member who was the executor on the estate of a woman who had been a prolific needle pointer. You will see from the photos. She also painted furniture with neat designs like a watermelon tabletop and a fireplace screen. She had a large display of wooden collapsible push-up puppets. I had never seen so many in one place. She also had what is called a reborn baby doll in a wooden cradle. They can look very lifelike, and if made by certain artists, can be very expensive. This crafty woman also had a glass-fronted cabinet filled with different skeins of yarn for her needlepoint projects, and another cabinet full of quilts. The family wanted to keep most of the handmade crafts. What the family didn't want, I delivered to Polly Sue's vintage clothing shop in Tacoma Park, Maryland, and my helper took some household items to a consignment store. And what was left after the saleable items were taken out were taken to charity, so the estate got a tax receipt for the write-off. The job only took 2 days of work in the house because so much was left in the house for the family to take away to their own homes. I won't post all the photos here as there are so many. Look at the Facebook page, 800 Houses, 800 Jobs. The next was a lesson in patience. In May of 2010, I was called by a man in New York City who said a paralegal from a law firm in Gaithersburg, Maryland, had recommended me to clean out a studio apartment in Washington, D.C. I had permission to get a key from the front desk and go in and look at the place. It was a small apartment with 3 closets and gnats flying around because no one had cleared out food from the refrigerator or cupboards. Weschler's auction house in D.C. was ready to come in as soon as I got the word to go ahead. First, my helper and I had to spend one 6.5-hour day sorting through everything and bagging up trash. And then college hunks came, took away filthy rugs, bagged trash, and the bed mattress. I was going back 2 days later, but the executor asked me to wait until after the 4th of July when he was going to come in and take out what he wanted to keep. In July, he asked me to contact him again in August. So on August 20th, I was able to meet with Tom Weschler and the crew that was taking things to their auction house. That was a 5-hour day. The deceased man had a lot of nice Asian art, vases, and a large stein with a metal hinge top and a 1753 grandfather clock. But everything was dirty, so we wore gloves and masks when we worked. The auction house had quite a bit of cleaning to do on the pieces they wanted to sell. The final house today is in Washington, D.C. at the Maryland border. I was asked by an attorney to clear out a house where you had to walk upstairs to get to the bedrooms, bathrooms, living room, and dining room, and kitchen, whether you parked your car in the lower level garage or came in through the front door. There was a chair glide installed on the staircase. Once again, I called a man who paid the estate $200 and came in and removed the chairlift from the staircase. He resold it later. These were very expensive items when new, and I probably found them in 1 out of every 10 houses I worked in. These lifts allowed people to stay in their homes longer and avoid nursing homes and assisted living apartments. But when the house went on the market, it had to be gone. Zillow.com calls the house a mid-century modern with vaulted ceilings, and it was furnished in mid-century modern. Some of the upholstered furniture was pretty stained and had to be thrown out. College hunks hauling junk took away 6 loads of trash. The blonde bedroom and dining room furniture in this house was not selling well at auction at the time, but Junket Dump It came and took it and other things to auction. My helper and I were there for 6 hours on the day that College Hunks came for their final load of trash, and the crew came to take a truckload of furniture to Associated Auctioneers. A neighbor took away some old travel trunks and long ladders, which was just as well, as they wouldn't have fit in the auction truck. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you will come back next week for another episode of Attic to Basement Estate Cleanouts. Check out my Facebook page, 800 Houses, 800 Jobs.